granny werewolves, weed whacker deaths, rock and roll, interpretive dance, and Hitler all on this episode.
Now it's garbage.
Just another movie night.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. We are Just Another Movie Night, and I am Scott.
I'm Joe.
You are Joe, and today we are talking trash.
Wait, can I say it like a hard rocker? Talking trash!
Jeez. If anybody can still hear out there, I'm
It's
not
like
sure.
trying to sing I was trying to channel my Bruce Dickinson, but that did not work out. Talking trash! I obviously cannot do it, but I mean, Jesse, he's a good singer. Jesse's the star of the movie.
Oh,
He could definitely pull it off.
well,
He's very hard rocking.
what I was saying was this is Talking Trash. This is our show to review, spoil, debate, crap on, and give second chances to the hated, the lowest rated, and the much debated, and often forgotten flicks on the internet, all while asking the question, what is the worst movie ever made? And if it's not this, what is? Because here on the show, we believe you can't truly review a movie without knowing what is the worst movie ever made. And today, we are doing, in the whole month of February, in honor of Valentine's Day, our suggested movies from friends we've met online or friends we've known our whole lives. Movie by Records and Beers on Instagram, who suggested to do Hard Rock Zombies, which is a movie this person has been suggesting her whole lives to us. And we have seen this movie before, but it's been about 15 years, maybe more. And today we're talking about Hard Rock Zombies. Hard Rock Zombies from 1984. Look, this was directed by Krishna Shah. I'm probably saying that wrong, but
No, you're saying it right.
it was actually filmed in 1983. It maybe came out in 1985. It's very sketchy. It was filmed in 1983 by accident as a movie within a movie. It was actually supposed to be in a movie called American Drive-In, which is the same director. He was making the movie American Drive-In, and they were making a fake film to put on the screen during the movie. And they all liked it so much, they said, hey, let's put a couple more bucks into it and make a feature-length movie. And that's why we have this movie. And I would probably say this one is more known in the cult community than American Drive-In itself, which is really odd. So it's one of those really weird accidents. This has a 4.5 on IMDb with 1,700 reviewers. Yeah, I mean, there's... Okay, you let's say this. We had seen it a long time ago in our early days of watching movies that we purposely started watching like movies that are so bad they're good. And we just kind of fell down this rabbit hole of finding these really weird movies. And we actually used to go to the video store. Not Blockbuster, but like we had something called like a 16, was it 16,000?
16,000 videos.
Yeah,
16,000,
something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
And they had like a lot of crap. And we loved, one of our things when we first started dating was we would go to the video store and pick up those crap. We would go down that section and just look for stuff. We would always pass the good movies and purposely grab the crap.
Yeah, because I always went by what the front of the box had on it.
Yeah, we were like, oh, hell yeah.
That was like my drive. I was like, oh my God, okay, what is this trash? I need to watch it.
And we just really got into it. In fact, when we first started dating, we actually, one of the things that we kind of had in common that we kind of chatted about before we had started dating, when we were like becoming friends, we would talk to each other about the movies that we liked that were crap. And you had shared a lot with me, and I shared back.
Yeah.
You, in particular, showed me how much you loved really crappy movies.
I mean, it goes back to like Stuart Gordon, Charles Band. These two men shaped my life.
Well, yeah, I think in particular it was Witchboard,
Yep.
and I'm trying to think of the other one. There was another one.
Dolls.
I don't remember that being one of the first ones, but I remember we slowly started watching a
There's a
bunch.
lot that I made you watch, and it was kind of a test of like, if he can get through this, then I'm gonna marry him.
And what was crazy was, I think at the time, I think I'm gonna give this to you. I'm gonna say that it was you who made me fall in love with the bad movies, because I was really into cinema, like heavy. I watched a lot. I would rewatch movies. I was listening to director commentary and all that. I was so into film, and you were like, "Hey, you ever watch this shitty movie?" And I was like, no." And then I would watch it and go, "Jesus Christ, that sucked," right? And I kind of get fell in love with it. I kind of just really enjoyed it.
Well, excuse me, sir, but I did introduce you to another cult classic that is very popular that you did fall in love with, and that is the Rocky Horror Picture Show. You've never seen it. When we
I had
started
never
dating,
seen it, yeah.
and I was like, "Nope, we're watching this."
Yeah, you really like. I had previously gotten into very weird, sketchy horror movies, but there was a few that I knew about already. Like I watched a lot of Trauma, which you hadn't seen, and so I was really into the Trauma films with a group of friends. We would, get stoned and drink and stuff like that, and we would just sit there and laugh. But I don't think I was like in love with it. But then it really started opening the horizon while getting into more films together. We started renting them purposely. And I think that I had already a love of horror movies, but I think that really started opening up as you and me started watching these movies together. And so as that started happening, we started meeting other people who also enjoyed it, and we would start these movie nights. We would get together with a lot of friends, and there's been multiple groups of friends throughout the years who have watched terrible movies, and we've forced them to watch bad movies with us. And we've been doing it for a very, very long time. And so because of that, people would suggest, and these are the early days, suggest other bad movies. And so this one was one of those early movies that someone had said to us, our friend, and he is back again telling us to watch it again. And I was really happy about it, like, because I was like, I do not remember this movie except for a few things. There's a couple details, and they all came back, and I was like, yep, okay, I remember that. I remember this. But I don't think you remember any of this, really, right?
No, I mean, I actually, when I saw the actor that was that played Nigel in the Ghoulies 2 movie, I was like, okay, now I remember. I remember this. I know exactly what this is now. But I didn't remember like shot for shot, scene for scene at all. So I kind of went in just, it was like a refresher because
Yeah.
I did not remember. I mean, it was like at least 15 years since we've seen this. So
Yeah, if not
I don't
more.
remember.
Yeah, it might have been way more. I don't even know. But yeah, the actor you mentioned is Phil Fondacaro. Fondacaro, I believe that's how you pronounce his name. But he was in Willow, Return of the Jedi. He was Greaser Greg in the real shit-tastic movie, the Garbage Pail Kids film.
Don't you ever talk bad about that
Oh
movie.
my God, that's one of my least favorite films of all time.
That's a cult. That's a cult movie.
No,
okay.
well.
And guess who introduced you to the Garbage Pail Kids?
Unfortunately, yes.
You know what? I'm taking full credit for all of this.
Now I would say he's the only actor in this film that anybody will recognize. Mm-hmm. I feel like everybody else is just, I mean, like, and being honest, when you go to the IMDb and you look at the pictures of all the actors, only about a handful have actual photos. So that means that the others probably not really in enough.
Well, I mean, they probably only made this movie and then, just decided I can't go on.
Yeah,
I
and there's
can't make any more movies.
a lot of
Yeah.
short films, a lot of stuff like that. Yeah, not as much as you would assume. Yeah, I was having a hard time actually finding more information about each person. That was actually a thing because we kept talking about it during the movie. What's the age of this person, and who's singing this song, and all that kind of stuff. And the only other person is the lead musician actor. Like, I guess you can call him the lead actor. Not really. It's
He has
iffy.
a cool name. His name is E.J. Curse.
Yeah, he actually went by a different name during the making of this. It was Kuriko. Yeah, which it sounds like a spell from the Harry Potter films. Yeah, he's known for playing such amazing roles in TV, like Springsteen Wannabe on Bones or Gigolo James on Head Over Heels.
Oh my
But that's
God.
about it. This guy looks like he should be in a lot because he looks like Chris Cornell, but if he had a mustache, like
I can see that.
when he did have a mustache at one point, but that's when he had short hair. But this guy has the long, heavy metal, yeah, the heavy
It's a
metal
mullet.
hair.
It's just a mullet.
Yeah.
It literally is.
He looks like he should be in more stuff. He just looks like that kind of actor. All right, so on this show, we spoil the hell out of the movie. We talk out the whole plot. We try our hardest to talk out everything. So we're going to start that now. I was just going to say that this is another one of those movies that's hard to talk about because it's so insane and so crazy.
I mean, things just start happening and there's no real rhyme or reason to it. And it's just there.
When you hear the information that this movie was made as a part of another film, you can see it completely. It feels almost like a bunch of bits stuck together. It really does.
It really does.
There's scenes in particular that look like they were filmed with a new camera, like just complete handheld, like almost like it's about to be an old commercial. It's so wild.
There's like no explanation on anything that happens in this movie. Zero. There's no explanation. Things just happen and they just put scenes. They shot scenes and then they just clicked them together, but they don't verbally explain anything that's happening in this movie at all.
I don't know about that.
There's no explanation.
Well, okay, because you said stuff during the movie. I was like, let's wait and talk on the podcast.
Okay, can I just say briefly, real quick, what we've got going on here as far as characters?
Well, do you want to go in order, or do you just want to ramble about the characters
I
first?
mean, I'm just trying to understand where the reasoning. Let's just talk this out.
Well,
I
mean,
need
look,
help.
the movie starts in a way where you think it's on our list of things that are no-nos. When you see them on a film, you should automatically get scared that you're going to watch a terrible, terrible film because it starts with a driving sequence. But it quickly catches up because we get a music opening with someone hitchhiking and then picking it up, and it's like this young girl who's hitchhiking, and these people who pick her up automatically are like, hey, we're all going to have sex. Which is like, oh, what? Okay, sure, why not? And of course, they go to a lake, they get undressed, and one of them gets in the water with her, I guess to fool around, and she pushes him under the water while someone else is videotaping, and we see two people with dwarfism. One in particular looks like a goblin or is in some kind of weird monster makeup.
I don't understand. Why? Like, is that a deformity or?
Well, in the movie,
there's
it is a deformity, and it kind of is a little bit of explained.
Okay, well, I'm gonna need some help on that. But
Yeah,
she's frolicking in the water for 2 seconds. She puts this guy who there's two guys. There's a driver and a passenger. So I'm guessing she takes out one of these guys in the water, puts him under. But I motioned to you. I'm like, okay, she's drowning him. I get it. Why is there blood coming up?
Yeah, this is one of those movies that's like not explaining what is making blood happen.
This is like
we had
number
this problem.
one on the list. I had no explanation.
We had this problem in Zombie 3 where people were getting pushed underwater, and we just assumed that there was some kind of mutant monster under the water all the time, and it never gets explained. But we just laugh. I kept saying to you, are they suggesting that her vagina is biting people? I could not tell what was happening in this sequence.
Here's the thing. If that was... Okay, say that's happening, but this guy could easily overpower this little woman.
Yes.
Why is it he's just allowing himself to be drowned? I'm having trouble with the scene.
They suggest like she has some kind of power. I have
What? No. Okay.
Look.
But then the other guy gets in the fucking water. Okay.
Well, my favorite thing about this is why he can't see that she's killing this other guy.
Well, Scott, he has his back turned.
Yeah, and when they show him getting into the water, he looks like he lost his keys.
He's looking for something.
He's looking for something.
Yeah, and you know what I think personally? The actor was scared to be in that body of water.
Is that what it was?
I feel like he was treading very lightly because I'm sorry, I would not want to be in that lake. Who knows what's in there?
True. I thought that maybe he was looking for his friend suddenly.
What, underneath the water?
Well, he's not looking underneath the water. He's looking all around, away from where the woman is.
But here's the thing. He was literally inches away from them. He can't hear the splashing of her drowning this man. And then he turns around and she grabs him and drowns him the same way.
She
and
does.
there's blood. There's blood again. What is going on?
I don't know, but my favorite thing about the blood is that when they show the two bodies, no wounds.
No.
They show them because apparently the person taking the photos, who's really enjoying it, like getting off on it, that guy, and also the two others, and which one of them, by the way, was that Phil, that actor from
Who
Coolies.
played Nigel in
He's
Coolies.
one of the two people watching as well. They all are joined up and they're laughing and posing with the bodies, and so they're all in cahoots, and that's very, very like, okay, what the hell is this? That's odd right off the bat. But I love the two bodies. They're in like sheets, like they're wrapping them up, but they're no wounds. They actually look like they've been dead for days. They're like blue.
But what, can I ask you what the reasoning is of them dragging the bodies out of the water after she drowns them? They don't show us anything that happens after that with the bodies.
Well,
Nothing.
so okay, they're using the body parts for things. I don't know in particular because in the next scene there's like a hand, so I'm guessing it's one of these guys' hands. I have no clue. I don't really know. They're just mass murderers. Let's just say that. This is just Rob Zombie characters, maybe.
That's
I don't
number
know.
one. That's the first thing that happened in the movie, and it's the first thing that gets unexplained.
But who
There's
cares,
lots of
right?
these scenes.
Because the next scene is where we get into the meat of the movie. This is where we get heavy fucking metal. The hardest rocking people ever. They're not hard rock zombies yet, but they're hard rockers, right?
Well, come on! Put your hands together! I met a girl just the other night. She looked me over and told me she was so tight. I didn't know exactly what to do, but I thought I'd better make my move. I sent my car parked right outside. Let's run it on and baby go for a ride. Well, she said no, no, not quite yet. Listen to me 'cause I'm so upset. I never love, but I can't know why. I'm in a hurry, but I'm out of time. Well, won't you listen, please tell me what to do? I said, shake, shake, shake it out, baby. Shake, shake, shake it out, baby. Shake, shake, shake it out, baby. Now.
Okay, no.
This is heavy
No.
metal, Joe.
No, there's nothing.
They want you to know
Metal
this is
or heavy?
hard rock.
No.
This is like kick-ass metal time, right?
This is like if Toto and Asia like got really mad and then decided to make like an album together.
What band is it? What are we watching? What's the name of this band?
Holy Moses.
Holy Moses.
There's nothing metal or hard rock or anything. There's no hard anything about these guys. They literally should be wandering around in white leisure suits and ascots. They're pussies. I have no idea what's happening. This is not a hard rock band. Nothing about them screams hard rock except for their hair. And that's even questionable.
That's what you want to say, all right? To me, in the movie history, there's only been two rock bands that have ever rocked my socks off. And that would be Spastic Colon.
Will you please join me in a warm welcome for Spastic Colon?
I
from the masterpiece Shock 'Em Dead and Holy Moses from this movie.
I hate this band.
I love it so much.
They're okay. I feel like
I love it. Something about this is a subgenre. We didn't get to talk about that. I should have talked about that in the opening, but this is a subgenre of horror films that is never ceased to make me laugh or smile. The rock and roll horror movie subgenre. Every single one of these films always makes me laugh. I think it's about the fake band and the fake music that always makes me smile. And this movie is no exception. Like, it just gets me to laugh every time they sing.
I mean, I feel like Skippy, he played Skippy in Family Ties. He was in the movie Trick or Treat, not to be confused with the anthology film, but he played a musician in that movie. And I feel like Skippy from Family Ties was more hard rocking than these dudes.
Well, fun fact. All right, fun fact. The music is by Paul Sabu, who's the son of an Indian born film star who came over to America and made movies. His name was Sabu. He's a producer. This guy, the son, Paul, he's a producer. He produced music for David Bowie, Heart, Alice Cooper, and Margaret. And he did the songs for this movie. And he also did the songs for Trick or Treat.
Oh my God.
And Ghoulies too.
Oh my God. Okay. Mind blown.
And vice versa, oddly. So, yeah, this guy's still going. He does songs for TV, Sex and the City, stuff like that. Really odd. Yeah.
Interesting.
I thought that was really interesting when you brought up Trick or Treat. I was like, well, fun fact, those great songs in that movie, here they are again. This is the same guy.
If Skippy from Family Ties can out-metal you, you got a problem. And these guys are out-metaled by Skippy from Family Ties.
Well, that's the great part of this movie. This Holy Moses is so far from hard rock. This is like music that would have came out of the 50s. Like the first rock and roll coming out of the 50s and the 60s. Like when the Beatles were doing it. Like this is like that kind of jam. Like it does not feel hard rock at all. It is just very poppy. Rock and roll.
It's like if Toto and Asia had like a baby. That's what, in like a drug-fueled rage or something. That's what this band would be. And there's nothing that screams like badass about this band at all.
No,
like,
they look like Van Halen, but they sound like, I don't know, like Chuck Berry or something. Something out of like
Chuck Berry.
Like something out of like that's what I'm saying, the late 50s, early 60s of that rock and roll pop. Like that early
Frankie
Beatles.
Avalon, that's what he sounds like.
I mean, it's just I didn't mean he sounded like Chuck Berry, but I mean that type of like easy song with the pop in, like Buddy Holly and the Crickets, like just that popping, like, oh yeah.
I don't. I mean,
well, anyways, the funniest part about it is the movie treats them like they're badass heavy rock stars, and that people love them. They're playing a shithole bar in the middle of nowhere, and every woman is throwing themselves at them on stage. And again, they're playing just poppy music. But I love the fact that everybody around them is so threatened. Everybody's threatened by their music. Like they're gonna rot people's brains with this stuff. You think that when a movie does that, they're gonna have death metal? They're gonna be Black Roses, another movie we haven't done on the show. We got to do Black Roses, where they're like singing Satan music. Of course, that's when you have people being scared. This stuff is actually nice music.
I
like
mean,
and there's
people
nothing.
are dancing to it. So if you're dancing to it, how hard can it be?
While they're playing music, we are cut to these four guys at a bar talking about how, do you really want your kids to listen to this? Like, oh my God, it's going to ruin America. And they're over there going, yeah, ooh, yeah. It's like, really?
It's pop.
This is going to hurt America?
It's terrible. I mean,
God forbid they hear gangster rap.
God.
Then you have something really to like scared about.
Well, I mean, there's no fear anyway. This town has a population of about 14 people.
Well, that's not even that's not the main They're just in a small bar somewhere else.
Right.
Because the next, well, first off, they go behind this, the scenes. They're in their dressing room, and we know they're in their dressing room because everybody's in a Speedo. Everybody's naked.
Goddamn guitarist is in a pink Speedo.
He's in a pink Speedo.
I'm like, nothing says sex appeal like a pink Speedo on a man.
Yeah, and we didn't even know this. We had to question this twice during the movie. How many members were in the band? Because we could swear there was 5 in the opening, and then the rest of the movie there's only 4 and a manager. They have a band manager with them.
Yeah. So I'm telling you, I counted. There's 5 band members.
Then the whole movie there's only 4 at the end. Because there's only 4 that come out of I don't know. Anyways, we'll get to that. But yeah, they're in their Speedos and they're all there, and the singer is just. He's not that kind of guy. He's sweet.
Yeah, he doesn't need to sign breasts.
Yeah, and the other ones are all in for the women, the fan, the groupies. And so they unleash them. They unleash all the women from the bar into the room where they're in their Speedos. And they sign their asses and all that, But the singer, the lead singer, he's just not into this. He's got to go outside and he's got to bump into another character from this movie, Cassie.
Okay, who is literally, if you watch this movie and you look up Sarah Jessica Parker in the movie Girls Just Want to Have Fun from the 80s, she's in that with Helen Hunt. If you look at her in that movie and you look at this actress in this movie, they look very similar.
Kind of. Yeah, I mean, I can see what you're saying.
Very
She has
similar.
that eyebrow.
The eyebrows, the hair, the
I think
eyes.
this girl's cuter.
That I feel like she's like not, let's call her not Sarah Jessica Parker. She looked just like her, like a lot like her. But she's like supposed to be this like young girl, and I'm gonna tell you something. She looked no more than 15 years old. This girl.
You think so?
Yep, 100%. Jessie, who's the lead singer of the band, comes out of the dressing room and encounters her, and she starts running away a little bit. And he's like, "Hey, little girl, what are you doing here?" And she's like, "I just came to warn you. Don't play the show in the town."
He doesn't say little girl. He says, "Hey, how you doing?" And
think
you
he
want to
says
come
little
back.
girl,
You want to
doesn't he?
come and meet the band and get a signature. And then she's like, "No." And then he's like, "Okay, what are you doing here, little girl?"
Yeah, what are you doing here, little
But it was
girl?
kind of like in a sweet way. He's like really like nice to her.
No, he's nice to her.
Yeah.
He's not being a dick, but like she literally just went there to warn them not to play their next show, which is in her town.
Yes.
So she offers no explanation. She's like, "Please just don't. They don't want you there. They don't want you there. Please don't come." That's
Yeah.
it. But obviously they go anyway.
Of course, he's like, "Well, we got a big show and we have a big meeting with a head producer. We have to go."
But the best thing about this is like in the next scene, you see them driving in their van with their manager, and of course they encounter the hitchhiking lady from the opening, who killed those 2 guys.
Yeah, but before that happens, I have to set up because it's a big plot point in this film. He's playing a new song that he's writing. And that song, the lyric is Regnitz? Asi? Enra?
Omnis Sandre, Amen. Morte Sandre, Amen. Cygnus Sandre, Amen. Omnis Sandre, Amen.
Believe?
I think you just summoned Satan.
Yes. So he says that over and over and over. And he says that he found a spell book. And apparently it's a chant to raise the dead. And so they keep swatting a fly that's flying around inside their van. And every time he says the words, the fly keeps coming back. And they're like, "I swear I killed this fly like 8 times.
Okay, so I have a problem with this. Why is this singer of a band writing lyrics like that? He does not strike me as some kind of like witchcraft.
No. I would love to know if there was a scene where he got this book and they just didn't film it. Like, it's so odd.
This is number 2 of the explanations that I need. Because the first one, when there's there's blood in the water for no reason. There's that one.
I mean, that's just a stupid horror movie joke. Like, it's just not even
It
whatever. And
makes
same thing
no
here. It's a
sense.
joke that they found a book. He's like, oh, I just happened to find a spell book that brings back the dead. I have to bring this. This is a great fun fact about this. The lyrics are actually spelling backwards. Ernie is a stinker. And Ernie is the singer of the band. His name is EJ Curse. The reason they did this, and they did it on purpose, is because he would not stop farting on the set on all the coworkers. And they did it as a joke back at him that he was saying that backwards.
You know what? That's the most hard rock thing I've heard about this movie.
Yep. He kept farting, and so they have him saying Ernie's a stinker backwards in all the song, and it's played a lot in this film.
Wow.
They say it a lot.
Yeah, they do.
They pick up that girl, like you were saying. They pick up the hitchhiker, and of course, that the couple of the guys are like, I want to have sex and all that, and she's like, hey, turn up here, and they're like, why? And they're like, it's my house. You should stay with us. You should stay with my family.
Well, see, that's unclear because she does say you should stay with us. And nobody in the van even questions who is us.
Yeah.
You know, they're just like, okay.
Yeah. Well, the manager's not so keen on it because they have a hotel apparently, but they talk him into it. So they go to the family house, and it's a giant house, and we get to meet the weirdos. So from the beginning, we have the camera guy again laughing in the tree. We have the mutant-looking little person, and we have the other actor we mentioned before. He's in like a small tuxedo type thing, and there's also another guy in a tux with like he's bald-headed with sunglasses.
He looked like Tor Johnson from all the Ed Wood
but
movies.
skinny.
Yeah, but skinnier. Yeah. But he did. I was like, oh, okay. Are we doing this?
So when the band gets out of the truck, the van, the whatchamacallit, or their their van, when they all get out, the one guy throws them a hand. He goes, "Here, let me give you a hand," and so they all scream and they all throw it to each other like hot potato. And the one guy kisses it in the band. Now, what we learn is it's an actual human hand,
Yeah.
but no one even comes to that like idea, and the one guy kisses it like it's a joke.
I mean, I feel like you don't know what to expect. I mean, if someone does that to you, throws you a hand, you automatically just think it's fake because who would think that it's
Well,
real?
when you're holding it like for a second, like
Well, you can feel the
you
flesh.
can kind of feel like this is
Yeah.
gotta be real.
But I mean, these guys are not the brightest.
No. Now, my favorite bit, I think this is flashed throughout the movie so far, and it's not explained what it is, but there is an old woman in a wheelchair in a dark room as a werewolf. And she just howls. Now, when I say a werewolf, with the old woman wig and the old woman moo.
But she has hair on her face, like she's transformed into a werewolf.
She's
so
not even hair on her face. She's a full werewolf.
Yes, but if she transformed into a werewolf, wouldn't the hair turn into werewolf hair instead of the wig that they had on the actress?
Yes, they have the wig on the mask. I love it so much.
They had the wig on her.
And every time this person's shown, it's just howling. And they hear it. Now it's the day. It's daytime.
It's daytime and this
and
is
they're
happening.
all outside with the hand thing, and they hear the wolf howl, and they go, "What the hell is that?" Oh, that's just mom. That's just grandma. I think she says grandma. Or
She
she
says
says mom.
grandma.
Oh, she's like, oh, that's just grandma. Oh, she's doing her scream therapy.
I don't want to be impolite, but what's that screaming?
It's just my mother's primal scream therapy. Quiet, Mama! Guests! You see, we're very accommodating to our guests.
I looked at you and I was like, what is going on right now?
Okay.
Okay, so right now, our characters that live in this house are the tall guy who reminds me of Angus what's his name from Phantasm?
Who's
he kind
that?
of looks like that. The tall guy, the guy with the camera.
Who's he?
He's like
Oh, he doesn't look like that.
the
at all.
grandfather.
He looks like a
Angus Scrimm.
James Bond villain. That guy.
He kind of does, but
in
he
this
has
movie.
that weird.
He's in a
look.
suit jacket with a vest and everything, and he's just taking pictures and he's just laughing.
Yeah, he's creepy. He's got that creep factor like Angus Scrimm. Anyway, then you got the two little people. One's like really fucked up looking, deformed. You got the blonde girl who's the hitchhiker, who's not bad looking. Then you got Grandma Werewolf.
And in the next scene, we meet our other character.
It just keeps getting better.
So I guess it's Grandma is not a wolf, having sex with a man in a mustache, an older man in a mustache. They're having sex, and they stop. They're talking in German. She says "Scheisse" right off the bat.
Yeah, right off the bat, but
and-
you don't know that what they're saying. That she's just making up words.
Well, that means shit.
Well, I know that,
Yeah,
but,
okay, but-
all the other words.
Yeah, they're just talking, and then what's really creepy is the two people with dwarfism come in, and they stand on the sides of the bed.
And they ask them
if we
they
can watch.
can watch.
This is like, was it Denny in the room
Oh my god.
who wants to just watch?
I like to watch you guys.
I like to watch you guys. That's what they say, and they go, "Okay, this is the old man says, what the hell are you doing in here?" And they're like, "We just want to watch." And then he says, "It's bad enough that I let my kids watch, but my grandkids."
So these two little people are the grandkids, and they want to watch their grandparents having sex.
Yes.
Okay. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And they say, "All right."
Yeah, they let them
And
stay.
they go back at it.
They let them stay. That's
So-
just normal behavior.
So this is I guess Grandpa.
It's grandma and
And
grandpa.
grandpa,
Yeah.
yep.
It's just my mother's primal scream therapy.
I can't.
Well, the band settles in and meets the whole family, and then goes on a nice music video of touring the town for some reason. It's like they film a music video for no reason. I don't know if it's for us or if they're actually filming
I think that their manager told them to do a promo
it. Okay.
for their tour. So that's what they were doing, and they're just, goofing around and skateboarding through the town and hanging out with the townsfolk and whatever.
Which is really crazy because everybody seems to be enjoying it, except they keep flashing to a cop with sunglasses and another guy making faces, and they show the same two faces over and over and over during this montage
Yep.
of the song playing with them posing and doing fun things and just being goofs.
Yeah,
Really
and then they
weird,
show
goofy people.
the cop and the other guy just like looking at them with disgust, but they just keep reusing the same shot over
Yeah.
and over.
And the townspeople seem to love it. Everybody but the cop and the other guy seem to love what's going on, which is really crazy going forward, because what we've learned is that the town doesn't want them to play music there because
Yeah.
they're devil music.
That's what the girl said. Her name's Cassie. That's what Cassie said. She's like, they don't want you there. So what the hell? Everyone in the town was happy to see them.
Yeah, all the kids, there's a lot of people in this town that do not come back into the movie. Everybody who is supposed to be in this town apparently doesn't want them there. And Cassie is there again, and he's the lead guy, sees it.
Yeah, Jesse, yeah.
He sees her and runs after her. She runs away, and she runs into her father, who I don't know who he is in the town. He seems like he's going to be a mayor or
Yeah,
something, but
he
he's
sounds
not.
like he's the mayor, but he's...
I don't know who
think
he
so.
is, but he tells her, what are you doing that nonsense? You being a part of that nonsense in town? And she's like, no. And then Jesse comes up. He's like, hey, and meets the father. He says, girl, get away. Go home. And he tells Jesse, you're not welcome here. We don't want your concert. We want you to get out of town.
But the whole town was just so happy to see them.
That's what it's so
It
confusing.
makes no sense. So
So logically, they lock them up in jail.
they put them... All right. Jail? This is
It's a barn.
paper mache, like, cardboard box with, like,
It's
fake bars on it.
It's got hay in it, so it made me think it was some kind of barn.
Now, first of all, they don't have the right at all
No.
to lock up these human beings. And secondly, they can literally just flick the wall and it'll crash over. This is the worst thing I have seen in a long time. This is supposed to be a jail. I got nothing. So I guess the manager gets them out, and they have to make a promise to like.
No, the woman, they actually, the singer talks to Jesse through the Cassie through the bars, and that's really funny because I thought it was a window they couldn't reach through, and the front door also has a window on it, but it looks like you reach through it. And I was like, why don't you just open the door?
They could blow it over. It's made of paper mache.
It's not. It's a barn. It's definitely a wall.
It's ridiculous. But they tell Cassie, "Hey, don't they tell her to go get the manager?" So
actually, he tries to give them the money that they pool together, which is only $35 to pay their bail. And Jesse says, "No, I can't." And he says, you know, "Oh, please," you know, he tries to talk to her, and you can see that this guy's like crushing on this girl heavily. You know, he keeps talking to her. She's smiling. She's into him too, but she runs off. Luckily, the people that own the house, the woman that they picked up hitchhiking, comes and bails them out.
But
She
why?
pays the bail because they want victims.
I mean, for what?
I don't know. So
What is she sacrificing these people for?
because they're nutcases.
But
That's all you need
isn't
to
there,
know
like,
is that it's a horror movie.
There's no rhyme or reason, though. Like, I can see if they needed to keep Grandma a werewolf or whatever and sacrifice people to the moon or whatever.
But don't you say that for any horror movie? Like, don't you always say, why did the killers kill?
I mean,
Like, why?
I guess, but
Yeah, of course.
I just need a little bit more here.
I
don't know
I don't think
why.
it's necessary in the sense that they just want to kill people. But they bail them out and they bring them back to the house, and they set up all their equipment in the front of this house to practice their music, because they're telling them that the concert's canceled. But the manager's pissed off because he has a big producer coming in, and then they have to, you know, they have to do this whole thing for the producer. They have to do this show because they want to get big, and they need this producer to see them. So that's like a big part of it. Well, before they play their music in front of the house while they're setting up, he goes and talks to Cassie again. He has a little meeting with her like a truck, and he says to her, you know, are you okay, and all this stuff. And he, what's your name? Can you please tell me your name at least? And she's like, no. And he's like, look, I wrote a song about you. I've been thinking about you all day. The least you can do is tell me your name so I can have the name for my song. So she says Cassie. That's what he knows. And he gives her his ring. All right.
I'm a little confused here because she looks like she's all of 15 years old. Okay. This is the 80s. So any 22-year-old band looks like they're 47.
Yes. And that's what made me think that maybe she's older too.
No, I don't think she is. And we could not find anything on this actress
No.
online at all.
Well, how did she get to the bar? How did she even get out of her town and go to that bar to see them play?
Her bicycle? I don't know. Does it even matter?
Yeah, it does, because I'm just asking, you're questioning things, but you're not questioning the fact that this dad let her leave town
I'm sure
to
she
see them in a
snuck
bar.
out. She probably snuck out. Does any of this even matter?
No, well, that's what I'm saying to you. You're questioning things. I don't think they're...
I'm just questioning this whole situation because I have a lot of questions. It gets worse.
So Cassie runs off. Now, that gave him his title of his song.
Cassie.
So he can...
so metal.
He can play the song. At the same time, the manager goes into the city hall where they're going to have a city hall meeting to vote on having rock and roll in the town or not. And the manager's trying to get them to allow the band to play. But they all veto it. They don't let him talk at all. There's like a lot of silliness. There's a lot of like stupid jokes that go on for a little bit of them all being goofy rednecks.
Yeah. But then we cut to them. The band is actually,
Gonna play.
They set up their little practice run outside the mansion, right?
And everybody comes out. The whole family comes out to see them.
Yes.
But when they start playing, the father in particular is visibly pissed.
He's infuriated, but then he starts smiling, and I'm looking at him, and I'm like, oh, what is he looking at? And then you can see the two little people up on the top of the rafters, and they're about to plug something in. Now, they electrocute this whole band.
Yes.
Okay? They should be dead. They should be dead at this point.
But the singer kicks the plug and is able to break the electricity.
Yes, okay, fine. But you would think that something like this happening would maybe deter you from wanting to, like, stay, or, maybe just go find a hotel. Why are they staying with these strange people? Nobody even questions it in the band. Like, nobody even says, what is your deal? What is wrong with you? Why is grandma a werewolf? Or what is wrong with
she
her?
doesn't look like a werewolf. They never see that.
I know, but the howling therapy, come on. Like, that's just, and also it's in the middle of nowhere.
It's supposed to make you laugh, Joe.
There's a deformed little person. The father is like...
They finally reference that they see that little guy, and one of the band members is like, you see that guy? Like, what the hell is going on there?
Yeah, there's so much going on. Like, it looks like the family from the freaking, like, Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yes.
And nobody even bats an eye. They threw a freaking hand at them, and they caught it, and they didn't even bat an eye at all. Like, they're not even taken aback by any of this. They got electrocuted.
Before they get electrocuted, the band members are talking about how the one guy's like, I feel like they're going to kill me in my sleep, this family. I don't know why we're staying here.
Right, exactly.
Like that, they're referencing it. The one guy is so into the girl, the hitchhiker, that he doesn't care. Like that, the two guys are like, oh, I want that girl. And the singer is just like, likes that girl in town. He's not thinking about anything else. The one guy in the band wants to sleep with the hitchhiker. There's only like two of the other band members, and the manager's trying so hard to get the concert happening. So they're not really all focusing on things. There's only a few of them that seem to be visibly like, oh my God, this is freaking me out. But anyways, they get electrocuted. They kick the circuit. Now, I want to know how I don't understand how the drummer's getting electrocuted, but that's fine. The drummer in this movie, we have to talk about, is never actually playing the drums. I don't know if all of the music is coming out of the Casio keyboard player's equipment, but the drummer is always faking.
It's okay. I had to point this out 6 times.
I said dragon sound.
You insult dragon sound, sir. Okay, because they were actually playing their instruments, or they actually looked like they were playing their instruments better than this.
Not YK
This
Kim.
guy, YK Kim, but this guy was playing the cymbals with one drumstick throughout this whole entire movie. Now, why didn't anyone give this guy instructions on how to at least fake it?
Yeah.
He was, I don't know what
or
his
at least
other...
edit him in properly for playing the notes right, because he's always hitting the cymbal.
He's only hitting the cymbal, and he's only playing with one arm. And I kept thinking the whole movie, where is his other arm? Like, what is going on?
What do you think, it's like Def Leppard or something?
I mean, no, I don't know what he was doing with his other arm, but there's only one arm hitting the cymbals, and you can hear bass drum, you can hear every other kind of... There's no point to this drummer. He's the worst faker of all time.
We have to talk about this, you and me, because
it's stupid shit that I point
all
out.
the times you love shitty movies, and all the movies you've put on or loved that we've done on the show, this one is for some reason making you the most perplexed and angry, and I have no idea why.
I have to tell you,
it's goofy. It's all made as a huge joke.
I know, and I'm still. Hey, let me tell you, I'm doing the best I can here. I just can't, like, at least just pretend that you know how to play the drums. Just fake it. Even Spastic Colon did better than this. And they were the shittiest band I've ever heard.
R.I.P. Johnny.
Oh, R.I.P. Johnny.
So they survive electrocution, get over it pretty damn quick, actually.
And they stay there.
Now, I'm skipping ahead a little bit here, but...
Please skip ahead.
The band is, after this, that night, because they're all so excited that they electrocuted them, but then they survived. They're a little like, So they all go off And during the night, they start being killed off. So we get an entire song piece where they're like each one of them is getting murdered. So one goes to see the granny who turns into the werewolf, and now she has a switchblade.
Why
and
would a
it's
werewolf
giant
need
switchblade?
Why would a werewolf need that? Why?
She is able to. I forgot about that in the opening. They're able. That is the hand from the guy in the opening, because I forgot in the opening the hitchhiker flipped the switchblade open and perfectly sliced off a hand with the switchblade with one stroke.
Yep.
So that was the hand they were throwing around earlier. But yeah, she's able to take out the switchblade and kill this one guy. He actually rolls around the room. She gets out of the wheelchair as the werewolf and starts running around after him. And he just keeps running around. The actor is so funny. He's doing this the whole time. Like that. That's all he's doing, running around this room. It is amazing.
There's no
acting.
exit to the goddamn room.
You can't find it. He's rolling over the bed. There's a werewolf in a muumuu in a wig attacking him.
She looks like. All right, come on.
Be
fair. She looks like Grandma from like the Little Red Riding Hood story.
Yes, she does.
When she's in the gown.
When the wolf is pretending to be the grandma.
Yes,
Yeah.
That's what she looks like.
And
It's
he's
hysterical.
Like, and then finally he gets thrown out the window. The other guy is stabbed in the chest and his organs are ripped out. Mm-hmm. The one guy gets in the shower. The hitchhiker girl goes past him to go take a shower. She gives eyes at him, so he follows her upstairs. She gets in the shower. We get the naked scene. He gets in the shower with her, and he's like, "I'm in love."
Well,
and she says, "Do you like movies?" And he says, "Yeah, I do." And she's like, "How about like Psycho?" And he's like, "Whoa!" And she stabs him to death with another giant switchblade.
In all fairness, though, it was a sexy, sexy shower that she was taking.
Yeah, she might have had that switchblade between her cheeks, like the movie Dangerous Men, where the woman is holding the knife in her butt cheeks. I don't know where that knife was in that shower, but
I mean, she had it in the soap dish.
yeah, she stabs him, and the guy at the photographer is right there going, "Ugh." Okay.
The photographer, meaning the guy that lives in the house with the...
Yeah, he's the other.
Yeah.
I'll have to talk about what I think is going on with the family, but we'll get on to that.
There's something going on with the family? I mean, come on.
So, I think the only one left is Jesse, who's met up with Cassie, and he tells Cassie that I think they come for him. So he gives her a tape of their song that he wrote, which is the one with the spell of bringing back people from the dead. He gives it to her and says, "If they get me, play this at my grave."
Okay.
And she runs off, and then he runs off. Now, it goes from night to day in the sequence. Like, they went to the Ed Wood School here.
Hey,
they couldn't.
That's my line.
They couldn't film in the dark, so they waited for a little bit of daylight. Yeah. So the sun, let's just say the sun's coming up. Maybe it's been that long of a night. Who knows? And he is crucified onto a tree with his hands out. And then he gets... By the way, the killer, it's the bald-headed killer, part of the family.
Not
the guy,
Tor Johnson.
He runs after him. Now, I guess it's the California Weed Whacker Massacre, because he's chasing him with a weed whacker. And at the end, he weed whacks his chest.
Oh, my
God. I would a weed whacker kill somebody?
Yes.
I don't think so. It's just a rope that spins around. When it would just slap at your chest. It would
it would cut the shit out of you.
It would
die.
Cut. I don't know if it would kill you.
No, it would kill you for sure. You can definitely die by weed whacking.
I want to do a movie myth busting so bad. I just want to do
Have you ever seen a weed whacker? There's blades.
Of course. It's not a blade.
Yes, it is.
Unless you're thinking about that one with the... I thought usually a weed whacker uses a rope. It's like a rope that slaps around.
I really think
or unless
that
you're
it could kill
thinking
you.
about that one that's like they use on the hedge on the floor that's like a piece of metal. I don't think was that one coming out of this weed whacker?
Isn't that a weed whacker?
No.
I don't know. I need to look up what a weed whacker. Let me look up the goddamn weed whacker. I'm getting upset. Because you can definitely die by a weed whacker.
I'm just laughing about the weed whacker because usually the one that he seemed to be using wasn't like an edge tool. It looked like just a weed whacker that you put over the grass and it cuts the grass like that.
Oh, hell no. There's a freaking saw blade on that motherfucker.
I think that's the...
Nope, that's a weed whacker. I'm looking at the photo.
Okay, all right. The ones I've always seen have the rope, but whatever. So anyways, it kills him and they instantly have a funeral for them. And they're buried above ground in just piles of dirt.
Yeah, so question. Why does their manager stay in this town once the band is dead?
Because they buried them there. And then it almost seems like the manager tries to get in cahoots with the family. This is one of the most odd moments because he goes to dinner with the family at their house and they're all laughing about, well, that was a nice funeral. And he's like, oh, my friends just died.
I mean, he doesn't really seem broken up about
Well,
it.
he yells at them a little bit, but then the head of the family, the father character, he starts saying, you know what? I need a young gentleman to help me out with my business. And I'm looking for someone strong-headed, like someone. Are you looking for a new job now that you're free? You're a free agent. Are you looking for a new job? And he's like, well, what would my job be? But before he can answer this, there's a red light that starts flashing on their dining room table, and the father goes, oh my God, it's finally happening. It's finally happening. And they're like, calm down. He's like, calm down. I've been waiting 50 years for this.
Oh my God.
He rips off his face, and he is Hitler. It turns out that the grandmother is Ava Braun.
Okay.
Hitler and Ava Braun didn't die. And the band manager takes this pretty well. He goes, it can't be. Are you really him? And he says, yeah, do you think I shot myself in that hole? Do you think I really would have done that? So he's like, Winston Churchill made a Truman. President Truman made a pact with me that I can go into hiding if I left and pretended like I died. I committed suicide. So he made a pact with me. And me and my family, which I'm guessing is inbred. And now all I can guess is the guy with the camera and the hitchhiker girl have had sex, and that the little people are their kids. And I think that's why the one is so mutated.
Okay, I get that.
Because he says my grandkids.
He says grandkids, yes. However, okay. Why would they incorporate Hitler into this movie at all?
Because
Number
it's
one,
funny.
And it is?
Because this movie was again, I think it's funny. This movie's making a mock on grindhouse films. This was supposed to be a movie playing in a drive-in in another movie. So this is exactly what those grindhouse films used to joke around about.
And I get
Hitler
it.
was always in those grindhouse movies.
Yes, he was. But I mean, not to be nitpicky, wouldn't Hitler be like, 90?
That's what they said.
No, he looked young.
Before he had his face, they said, I'm 90 years old. When they were having sex, he says, oh, I'm pretty good for a 90-year-old.
Oh, that's right. He did say that.
Yes.
Right.
And they explain it further a little bit later. But,
Jesus Christ.
yeah, so...
I'm happy
Ava
that
Braun,
you
and
find
also
it funny.
another grindhouse joke is that she Wolf of the SS is always a thing in grindhouse too.
Yes, it is.
That women are always referenced as being the werewolf in the SS like stuff and all Nazi stuff, and we've seen some really bad movies. There's a whole series of Ilsa films, and it's the worst shit I have ever watched. I don't know how people like it, but her being a werewolf granny is a joke on that. So again, this is a bunch of grindhouse jokes put into one movie. And so I kind of respect it because it reminds me of like when Tarantino and Rodriguez tried to do this, and Eli Roth finally came out with Thanksgiving. But these movies, I feel like this movie is exactly one of those movies.
I don't know.
This is what I think that Rob Zombie joke one would have been.
But this director didn't make anything else like after this. I mean,
well, he was working on that one film, which was like his last movie. And this is a part of that movie, so this one came out first.
because the other ones that he did were like, I mean, he worked on the $6 Million Man.
He worked on a lot of TV.
He wrote one episode of that. The Flying Nun. I mean, he's done like, I don't know, things that don't really scream grindhouse.
Yeah, I know. That's why I think, because the reason I keep bringing that up is because this was supposed to be a grindhouse film in another film. Like,
That's right. You're right. You did say that.
so that's why this
Okay.
movie is that way. He actually made a big movie. What was that? River Niger, or is that what
Yeah.
it is? Where huge cast, amazing cast. That's a James Earl Jones film. That shocked me that that guy did this movie.
Yeah.
You know, so but yeah, get back into the movie. He asked that guy to work for him as Hitler. And he has a whole speech where he brings him down into this bunker and he's a swastika. Now, the whole family now shows their real colors. They all have swastikas on. They all have the whole outfits, the SS outfits and everything. It gets so out of control, cheesy and funny, and it's really corny. And they don't like the manager's response, so they say, "You're the first to die." So, but before they tie him up, and at the same time, Cassie plays the song at the graves of the band.
When my mama died, my daddy never cried for her. I can't figure it out. 'Cause I'm crying for you. And I'll never stop crying for you. I swear it on your ring.
And now this is when the band emerges in their Kiss makeup with new clothes, and they do the safety dance. Basically, they all walk, they all march.
Doesn't one of them actually have a hard hat on?
Yes, they're dressed like, two of them are dressed like Sergeant Pepper,
Yeah, they are.
and one has a hard hat.
The walk to going back
It's
to
amazing.
the house, like it's like robot.
I said the safety dance, but yeah, pretty
meets
much.
zombie.
They're like doing
meets-
Frankenstein,
Yeah, yeah.
but they're more like toy soldiers being wound
That's
up.
what. Yes, that's what they look like. That's what I was trying to get to. Yeah, the toy.
It's so wild. The turn that this movie now makes is so crazy that it just makes me laugh my ass off. Because now the band is coming for revenge. Now you feel like this is the end of the film. And you can see why this was a little film supposed to be. But they added on. The last half of the movie feels like it's the added part. The band goes and gets revenge and kills the whole family one by one.
Yeah.
And we get to watch them while also having flashes of them killing them. So we had to see like the flashback. In the flash, they save the manager, and the manager freaks out and runs off and runs to the town council as they're killing everybody in the house.
Yep.
He goes and tells the town council, "Oh my God, Adolf Hitler," and they say, "What?" And he's like, "Zombies, Adolf Hitler, everybody's dead at the house." And they're like, "What?" And the cop goes, "I should go check on this." So he runs off. But the rest, this scene is so crazy. But they have a comical. This is virtually Mel Brooks and it's a character. There's like an old Jewish wise man that is in the town council with a actual stick. Like he's got a walking stick that looks like a branch.
Oh my God.
He is so comical. This actor starts going into the whole thing. He's supposed to be that old man in all horror movies that says you're all doomed, which is what he says.
He does say that. That's the only thing he actually said that I could understand. I could not understand the shit coming out of his mouth at all.
He rambles that he knew this day was coming, that Truman made a pact with Hitler to allow him, if he gave up, he could live. But in doing so, he made him immortal as zombie, is the undead. So him and his family are the undead, and if they are killed, they will come back as zombies.
Yes.
And he's saying all this as he's dying. This old man keeps dying. The sun keeps coming out of
It's
the window.
amazing. He knows everything, though.
He knows he's that old
everything.
man joke in every horror movie. And they're like, "What?" Like, oh, wait a minute. What are you saying? Like, what? Are you serious? And we see it is serious because everybody goes to the house to check on the family. The family starts waking up as zombie versions of themselves. So we have a zombie werewolf granny. We have a zombie Hitler.
We have a zombie butler. Not Tor Johnson?
Yeah, who's a skinhead. Yeah, now we
Yep.
know that why he looked like that. He was a skinhead. Yeah, the camera, everybody, they're all back to life, and they bite all the town people, and they kill all the town people that come and see them, making them zombies. So now what we get is a zombie film, like a hardcore comedy version of a zombie film.
Yeah, I mean, it looks, the makeup is terrible.
It's so crazy. This is in the league with Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. Like,
Yeah, they didn't
it's
even try.
that cheap, that joke. It's all so spoofy, but I think a lot of it is really, really funny. So, I mean, it's wild. If they had a little bit of a budget, this could have been like a really funny film. Like, I think it
I
would have
wonder
been.
what the budget was.
I can't find any of that. I don't even know if this played in movie theaters because I can't find box office. I can't find anything.
Wow.
So, at the same time that there's the town people are becoming zombies, and this is like a whole like a pandemic that starts with the zombies killing everybody in town. The band just goes and packs up their musician stuff, and they go play for that producer.
Well, they still have to do their audition, Scott.
They do the audition. They set up an entire stage production.
Death isn't going to stop them.
It's true. And the producer comes in and just is blown away by the best band that he's ever heard in his life.
I was just loving the fact that they're in this theater and this one guy is sitting in one of the theater seats. Now, it's like a big theater, like, you know, in like on Broadway. And he's sitting in one of the theater seats, and I couldn't help but notice right next to him, he had like a little table with a lamp on it and about 4 or 5 like pictures in picture frames with a telephone on it. Like if we were in his living room. It was hysterical. I'm like, why do we need this? Why is that there? There's no need for it to be there. He wasn't in like a box or anything. He was like literally just sitting in one of the seats in the theater. But he had that stupid table. I'm like, oh, right. This is to show us that he's important.
Yeah. And also the phone works as a megaphone because he calls out to the band that he's gonna make it look better. I mean, they look amazing. They're all in these costumes. They have a jail cell around the drummer.
I mean,
They have
amazing.
fireworks going off, and he's like, I'm going to make it look even more real later. And, okay. So cutting back and forth between the insanity that is going on in the town while people are dying, and there's a lot of crazy shit. One of our favorite scenes is there's a woman who is her boyfriend is talking her into sex, and he might have cheated on her. So they're having a little bit of an argument.
This is my favorite scene in the movie.
This character is so funny, and I love that they kept bringing her back in this film. But she sees the one guy in the bushes. She goes, "What the hell is that? It's the most grotesque thing I've ever seen." And he's like a normal guy.
Isn't it the little person?
Yeah, it's just one guy. She's like, it's so grotesque. Oh my god, my mother has spies. So you hear the boyfriend goes, I'll go look. So he runs out there, and you just hear him screaming. And she goes, what the hell is that? And then his head comes flying at her, and she starts talking to his head. Like she goes, "Are you okay?"
I mean, she's holding the guy's head.
Decapitated head.
And she's
says,
like,
"Are you
oh my
okay?"
God, Arthur, are you okay? Is his name Arthur? I think
I
it's named
cannot
Arthur.
remember, but she says it so
Oh
many
my
times.
God.
It is a running joke that keeps coming back through the entire movie from now on.
Arnold, are you okay?
Are you okay?
She's holding his severed head.
And then the guy comes back out. The guy killed Arnold and takes his head and throws it into a car that just takes off. We don't even know whose car this is, and it does not make sense later on when it comes back. He just throws it in, and she goes, "Arnold, get back here!" So she runs out to her car and leaves. And then we find out that she's chasing, and then the one zombie guy is following her. He cannot walk. He's hardly walking. He's trying to chase this car. Then we see later on in the movie, she has found the head because it was thrown into a grocery bag in someone else's car. And the daughter takes out and she goes, "How did we spend all this money?" And she goes, "Well, how much was this, Mom?" And it was that decapitated head. And she says,
That was funny.
"Oh my God." And then the woman runs up and she goes, "Arnold, get away from Arnold."
Like, how was she at that house at that moment?
I know. She's like, "Get away from my husband, my boyfriend."
Like, I guess she followed them in her car because when the head was tossed, into the
It was
car.
a totally different car that had no top.
I know. It was like a silver, like Chrysler or something, and it was a convertible, but the actual car that they show us was black. That was a
It
convertible.
was It wasn't a convertible.
It was. It was a convertible. Yeah, it
Not
was.
the one that they could get the groceries out of.
Yes,
it's a full car.
It's a convertible. I remember it.
Okay. But she takes the head and she goes, "Can we use your phone and call the cops?" She goes, "Not with that dripping blood everywhere. I just waxed my floors." She goes, "Oh, it's dripping? You're so right.
my
Let me
God.
put them right down here for later." And then she goes, "Okay, that's much better. Yeah, I'm sorry I was going to drip blood on your wax floors. Anyways, want to have a cup of coffee?" And they go back in the house. And the daughter just
man.
chucks the head.
Like, I mean, any other kid would be like scared shitless. Like, oh my God, that's
She
the
just
head.
chucks it. She goes, "See you later, Arnold." And she chucks him.
Oh man.
This actually comes back again when there's heads all over the street later on. And then one of the zombies walks up to the head. And then she grabs the head away and she goes, "This is my boyfriend. Stay away from him. You better never. I don't want to see you with him ever again." And then she gets finally killed. But there's a lot of jokes in this. There's a whole premise of the townspeople inside of a room trying to decide how we survive the night. Like, how do we survive this? And one of them comes up with an entire plan. He's like, "Zombies don't like heads."
What?
And he's like, they have a problem with heads because they're no longer able to think. So we can. So they're mad about it. So
Okay,
they
what?
actually don't want to go near heads. So if we print out these giant heads, we can walk around the streets with them.
It didn't make any sense.
And so
I
they
can't
do
even
it.
believe I just said that. That didn't make any sense. Nothing in this movie makes sense.
There's a whole scene of people trying to walk around with these giant heads. And then some of the zombies are like, "Ew," from the giant heads.
I mean, it is comical. I did like.
It's so
I
funny.
did kind of chuckle a little bit. It's way over the top. But yeah, the people that thought they were gonna get away with, printing out these pictures of like Elvis. There's
It's
one
all
of
famous
Marilyn.
musicians.
There's one of Jimi Hendrix. Yeah,
John Lennon, yeah.
John Lennon. They were just holding the big faces and heads like in front of their own heads, and just trying to walk through the zombies, which is amazing because there's a whole different other direction that you could go because all the zombies are just loitering in the street in one section. So they could have easily just gone around them, but they went through them, and the zombies became wise to their little ruse, and they killed all of the people.
Well, they
that
actually take the
survived.
heads and they put them on too, and they infiltrate the guy who made the heads.
Oh my God, it's amazing.
There's another guy who's like, he's making steaks. And then one guy goes, "Those are fucking vampires, not zombies." There's like a whole bunch of this stuff that going on. Finally, one guy goes, "Hey, actually in the book it says that if you sacrifice a virgin at the moon, you should kill the zombies will all come to file her.
What?
And it'll stop and make the zombies leave you alone."
Wait a minute.
So they're like, "We need a virgin." And then Cassie runs in exactly at that moment. And she's like, "I need help." And they're like, "Oh, crap."
But what was the reasoning of sacrificing Cassie? What is the reasoning? It's not like the ritual will like turn them back human.
No, there's a joke that the zombies would leave you alone if you gave them a virgin at the moon. I
Oh my
don't
God.
know. But all I know is that every single zombie in town goes to have sex with Cassie on this tree that they tie her up to. And they're all walking toward her, like in the desert. They're all humping. I was cracking up. I'm like, this is...
I was like, okay, we're at the point of this movie where we've already been going for an hour and 20 minutes. So now it's just getting silly. It's getting sillier by the second.
That's what I love about it.
It's the whole ending was like completely silly.
The band, they play for the producer, but they don't want any money. They just want to go back to die. So they go off. The producer's mad about the producer gets killed. Mm-hmm. And the band just goes and buries themselves again. And then the producer is sitting in the place, and the band manager comes because he's trying to save Cassie. He's looking for the band. So he wants to save her. He doesn't. He's like, "I've finally come to the conclusion that I care about people and not money." And so all I want to do is save Cassie. And he doesn't know he's talking to the producer that is a zombie. And then when finally the zombie goes to bite him, he says, "You suck, man." And everybody knows it. Everybody knows about it, man. He runs off and he is able to find them dead in the graves. And he begs them to come help Cassie. "I have the ring that you gave Cassie. She's in trouble." The zombies come out of the ground, the band, and they go and they come up with a plan to rock out one last time. And they rock out music that will drag the zombies toward them, which is the chant again. So they play that chant, and all the zombies stop trying to hump Cassie, and they all go toward the chant, which is they're leading with the chant. They're leading them into a mountain. It's like a mine, and it turns out that they lead all of them in there, and they trap all the zombies inside, and it's a gas chamber.
Which I guess is just like...
It's supposed to be poetic justice for the Nazis.
Yeah.
Like, they get revenge on the Nazis with a gas chamber, and they gas them all, and the zombies apparently die from this.
Yes, but not every zombie was a Nazi.
No, but they're zombies at this point. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I mean, am I questioning this?
I know. I have to also point out, throughout this movie...
Oh my god.
The one mutant, little person or dwarf, I'm not sure. The one smaller mutated one is eating himself. Throughout the whole movie, he's cut to, throughout the movie, eating himself until he finally eats all of his flesh off.
My favorite scene was when he was literally just a head.
He's a skull. He's a skull.
And he's the rest of his face off. And he eats his own face, but like spaghetti. Like he sucks it up. Like
it kind of looks great. I kind of love it. It's so weird.
That was funny.
He's like at an Italian restaurant, and he's got like the tablecloth, and every time they cut to him, he's eating a new body part off.
He's dining on himself.
Yeah, there's one part where he's putting sugar on his guts. Oh god, he's putting mustard on his hand.
Oh my god, it's so stupid.
It's so stupid. I just love it. Well, they beat them, and the manager, they go to the grave, they say goodbye, and the hand comes out and gives the ring back to Cassie, and they love each other. And she's like, "I'm always gonna love you.
I'll come back.
You're always gonna be the one." And Finn. I love it. I think this is exactly what kind of bad. When someone says what's so bad it's good, this movie is definitely so bad it's good.
You really think so?
It is. I think it's a hoot. I think it's hilarious.
I think you and I are on different pages on this one.
I don't know why. I'm a little surprised by it. It is so wacky. It does all the things we want.
I wish I laughed more.
I don't know why you weren't. It's so funny. Like, it's so cheesy. It's so ridiculous. It's so over the top, and it knows it.
I mean, yeah, it definitely is not taking itself seriously. That's one thing I do like about it. Like, I can't stand these kind of movies that do take themselves really seriously. But I don't know. I mean, a lot of this stuff is just not ha-ha kind of laughter, you know? It was slapsticky, but not as slapsticky as that would make me laugh out loud.
I don't know. It's got all the things. It's got like those checklists of things that you want to see in a bad movie that makes you smile. It's got that music, the crazy band. I just love that kind of crap. It's got bad special effects, bad makeup, just kind of like cheesiness, like them going all out. There's so many weird. We didn't even talk about the daughter interpretive dancing throughout the entire movie as a zombie, which is like almost like it wants to be trash. Well, I don't know. I think this actually predates Trash.
Yeah, that was 1985, my favorite year for horror movies.
Yeah, this might have came out in 85. It was filmed in 83. So that's odd. I mean, she's a zombie and she's dancing in every scene. She's not butt naked like Trash, but she is in the street. They just cut to her constantly randomly dancing.
Yeah, it's really weird.
It's just that kind of
They
stuff.
do a lot of stuff in this that's reminiscent of a lot of 1980s movies, or even earlier, way earlier. Like they even kind of do like Night of the Living Dead a little bit, where they're like barricaded in the basement type thing and that kind of stuff. But I just thought like a lot of this was just goofy. Like it kind of had a lot of those factors of like the Toxie movies where like they were trying really too hard
Oh,
and
I
it
didn't.
didn't land for me.
What I liked is they played it like it was serious, but the stuff that was coming out of people's mouths were so insane.
Yeah.
It was never like a sound effect followed it, like what? Like it, to tell you it's a joke.
Right.
They were just like wacky shit. And it was just like completely playing it like, oh no, we're taking this seriously. There's a love story here. Like
The music in this movie was, I feel like they just should have done better on this. I mean,
I think it's
I'm not
fun.
getting hard rock zombies.
No, but that's
like,
the point, right? That's how goofy it is.
it was like elevator music.
I think
just
it's
crazy.
It definitely works for me.
Well, what are you giving this score wise?
That's look, it's still a bad movie. It is like
Yes, it's very
it's
bad.
badly made. It's not. There's a whole scene where you can see the microphone on everybody. Like you can see the boom mic in the shadow. It's so cheesy looking. It looks so bad. There's a lot of stuff like that in this movie. So definitely saying it's a bad movie, but it's so bad it's good it gets elevated. I always talk about something gets elevated when it's so bad it's good.
Yeah.
This is a perfect 4.
Oh my god. A 4?
4 is what I always give so bad it's good.
All right. I'm gonna say I didn't really care much for it as like you did. I thought it was there's some things that I was like, oh, okay. Some things were funny, like the guy eating himself, and there's some funny moments in there.
Yeah.
But I am gonna have to go 3 on this.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, of all this month so far, you don't think this is one of the better ones?
I'll tell you this, okay? I'll tell you this. I could sit through this one much easier than I could with some of the other ones. The other ones were so cringy that a lot of them I was like, come on, is this gonna be over anytime soon? Like I can't. But with this one, I was like, all right, I can get to the end of this and be fine.
Yeah.
So I guess that changes my score a little bit. So I guess I'm gonna have to give it a 4 if I think in those terms.
Well, that's my thing. Like, would you watch this one again over any of the others, or is
Yeah,
there another
I
one?
would.
Yeah, because I was gonna say I would never watch like Artemis Fowl, The Son of the Mask. Definitely not Barbarella. There's no reason there.
No.
I think I would watch this one again because this one does make me laugh. This is a background party movie. This is a movie where people have beers and they laugh. I would put this on that list of like, this is funny. Like, this is so weird. It's so surreal, but it isn't like boring. Never once am I bored.
No. All right. You talked me into the 4.
You actually said during the end of this movie, you actually said to me, how long was this? Only 40 minutes?
It
And I'm
didn't
like, it's
have
an
that.
hour and a half.
Yeah, it didn't have that long feel.
That's
That's what I'm telling you.
also
That's why I said I
impressive.
could sit through it. I could sit through this one much easier than a lot of the other ones. Like, I was just waiting for Artemis Fowl to be over. I'm like, please.
Oh, yeah.
God,
Oh,
can
yeah.
we just push along?
Well, we were sitting there more in bafflement with that. We were just, what is happening? Who is this?
Yeah,
What is that?
it was just
And
too much.
Son of the Mask is just like,
Now that was slapstick humor.
yes,
that
that's
just
bad.
didn't
It
hit.
didn't land. This to me, it lands. That doesn't.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, I'll go 4 on this. And that brings us to our segment of why we can't have nice things, which is I'll show you 2 extremes of online reviews and how the internet destroys the movie rating system. So I'm gonna give you one 1-star review and one 10-star review of Hard Rock Zombies. And
I love that there's a 10.
there's several 10s.
God bless 'em.
Several
God bless.
10s, yes. But this one, I'm going to start with the 10. So this one is titled Badass Movie. The hell with all of you who put this film down. This is a cult classic. Mr. Curcio did a great job as Jesse. The other guys in the band, especially the drummer, had a tough time pretending to play their respective instruments. But not Jesse. He looked like a real deal hard rocker.
I actually agree with that. It does look like he's doing everything. I don't think he's
Yeah.
singing, right?
No. This is a fun movie to watch and have a good laugh. This is the movie that made me a musician, and 15 years later, I'm a professional musician. This movie was made in 1985, so don't expect Return of the Living Dead zombies. You have to understand that Z movies are meant to be fun, not overly analyzed. People love The Toxic Avenger till this day. Do you think this movie has award-winning camera shots? Hell no. But it does have a carefree quality to it, which is much closer to real life than all these flicks which come out today, where everyone is a martial arts expert or can practically fly through the air. Yeah, okay. All you Matrix Crouching Tiger clones, why doesn't anyone criticize that? Just watch the movie and stop being a damn critic. That's a 10 out of 10. Now, okay, sir, first of all, don't tell me to stop being a damn critic. If you're giving this movie a 10 out of 10, that means you're telling me that this is a flawless movie, one of the best movies ever made in all time, okay? That's a 10 out of 10. So what you're saying is this movie is fucking perfect.
Yeah, I mean, it's that thing, right, where these people are like, I like it, so it's perfect.
Now, if you
Even though he pointed out that it had flaws.
Okay, but if he did any fucking research, he would know. He says this movie was made in 1985, so don't expect Return of the Living Dead zombies. Well, excuse me, Return of the Living Dead came out in 1985, so I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Do some research, number one. And also, Toxic Avenger knew exactly what it was. It was a piece of crap, and they never denied that at all. They everything was a joke, everything was ridiculous and over the top, and they knew exactly what they were doing. So I don't know what this guy is even saying.
Here's the thing about this guy's review. I agree with what he's saying. I just don't agree with the 10. You know, it's that extreme. It's going to the far where you don't really need to go that far. There's a possibility of having a middling and still knowing that it's fun. You can like it, but no, it's not like perfect.
That's what I'm trying to say. Like, this is a 10 out of 10. Okay, some of the points you're making, I get you. I understand this.
Yeah.
I get it.
I get it.
But if you're still saying that this is a perfect movie, it is not. You can still enjoy this movie and think it's fun and have a great time with it and give it even a 5 that's being generous. You could still do that. This is not a 10-star movie at all. It's not even a 7-star movie. This is if you want to go mediocre at best, that's pushing it. That's pushing it. This movie is not a 10-star movie at all. So this guy just annoyed me with that review. But anyway, 1 out of 10, here we go. This is titled, Why? I have seen some horrible movies in my life. This film, if it can even be called that, is the most worthless film I have ever suffered through. I would like to meet the writer of this film just for no other reason but to ask what the hell they were thinking. How is Hitler still alive? How could music on its own make zombies? I feel stupid saying this, but in Weekend at Bernie's too, it sort of made sense. I was also wondering if anyone else noticed that the lead singer is in his 20s and making passes at a barely teenage girl. In summation, the movie is improbable and utterly disgusting. I warn all potential viewers to spare themselves the impending lobotomy. 1 out of 10.
Good Lord. Yeah, I can see why someone wouldn't understand some of the little laid out plot that's not like hammering it in. It's just kind of set in the background like, hey, I found a book and I have a chant that's supposed to bring back the dead. Wink, wink, you know, and it actually does. I can see someone missing that. I can see that, you know, some people would say they missed why Hitler's still alive, you know, stuff like that. Yeah,
I don't think this movie is a 1.
No, not even. It's cheesy. It's doing what it's supposed. Like, it's a movie that does exactly what it wants to do. It's making a grindhouse flick for fun and joking around in the vein of a spoof movie like Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. I enjoy for that aspect, and well, look. I get it. Somebody who's seen something that they really love. I'm wearing a Hellraiser shirt right now, and you're wearing a Blob shirt. There's people who love those films, but there's always going to be that one person that's expecting, you know, they hear it's good, so they go watch it, You know what I mean? That person is probably a fan of something like Hellraiser. And then they go and see Hard Rock Zombies for the first time, and they're like, "What the fuck? Like this
Yeah.
is junk." I get it. Like I get why someone would say this is a 1. If you're going and you're looking at it, like other guy gave it a 10 and knocked Crouching Tiger. You know, some people don't want that high art. Some people don't want that. You know what I mean? Some people are looking for it, and then some people aren't. You know, and so there is that side. But the extremes of giving 1s and 10s is where it has a problem.
Yeah, I mean, I've
Like,
had a lot of problems with this movie, but I also found some things, kind of
Exactly,
funny about
yeah.
it. So like, there's good and bad in everything. And as much as I want to say that, this is so bad it's good, I'm still teetering on that. I'm not really
I'm so
sure.
surprised by it because I think it's like a lot of fun. I'm surprised that you didn't connect with it as again on the second watching as I did.
I don't know. I guess because a lot of it just didn't hit with like, I wanted them to be more like metal, I guess, instead of like their music was so cheesy and elevator-ish. I just didn't like it. Like you can't call this movie Hard Rock Zombies when they literally are doing elevator music. It
And
was-
see, I had the opposite of that because it made me laugh harder because the fact that everybody's like so revolted by their music in the sense that it's gonna rot their children's minds, and it's so fluffy and sweet, is just so weird to me. Like it's just such an off put that it made me laugh harder.
Yeah, and I too, I definitely, I can appreciate that. I can, but like when I've seen movies, like getting back to it again, like, Return of the Living Dead and all those, they play like party rock, like party metal, And I just like that, like when you have a horror movie and you have like the tone is like zombies and monsters and stuff. I like the metal in there. Like even if it's cheesy 80s metal, like a lot of my horror movies have, I feel like I'm fulfilled.
So you were saying something like you're a total sweetie. I was gonna sing the spastic colon
you
to you
going
again.
to?
But,
I'm a virgin girl.
Yeah.
I'll wait till I'm married. Spastic colon was it. They were fantastic.
I know.
Because of
I
Johnny.
see that. There you go. I mean, that was so odd.
But
That
they
was great.
weren't coming off as like hard rock. They were coming off as just,
Well, it goes into heavy metal after that. They get a heavy metal guitarist.
he just see that's where they went wrong. It's like he just I love that movie. I could talk about it for days. I
I
love
can
that
too.
movie. But this one, I don't know.
All right, so we're both saying it's not the worst movie ever made.
No.
So what is on our list? We've been doing putting movies in. We're ranking them of what the worst is we've watched so far since we've done this. We are now up to 22 movies. This is the 23rd on our list, which is crazy that we already got 23 movies on our
Oh
list.
my god.
We both said that we wouldn't watch Artemis Fowl. We would watch this over Artemis Fowl. So I think that this is going to land right at number 15, which would be between Artemis Fowl and The Exorcist Believer.
Oh god. Yeah. Okay. Yep.
You agree with that?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
I think so too. All right.
boy.
So that is Hard Rock Zombies. That's February. Everybody's suggestions knocked out. And I'm glad we ended with, to me, what is a higher note. Because we were descending into madness up to this one. We came off the Toxic Avenger movies, which was a descent into madness.
I feel
And
like I
then-
need therapy after that.
And then coming into Artemis Fowl, The Son of the Mask, and then Barbarella, we kept descending even more.
Yeah.
So now we got, I think this was a little bit of a pickup into what we like to do more of. Like movies that are just so weird and silly and bizarre.
I definitely had more fun with this one than Son of the Mask. That movie was just trash.
Yeah, and it was kind of like, it's especially when it's a comedy. Comedies are the toughest movies to talk about. So, yeah, I mean, I'm glad this is what we ended on. Next month, we'll going into another theme. And that's probably going to be for St. Patrick's Day. And we'll see where that torture leads us. But thank you for listening, everybody, as always. Always love to hear your opinions or your thoughts. Hit us up on social media. I am Just Another Movie Night on Instagram, and Joe is at the Crafty Misfit. She is crafting us some fun things. Go check it out. And thanks again for listening, and have a good one. Bye.
I don't know what I'm gonna do. I may lose it.
No, you'll never see me with another woman. Never.
Do you promise me?
Never. Kiss me. Kiss me again.
It was a little thing in the bush!
Oh, you scared me.
It was so gross! Oh my God, I think my mother has spies.
Your mother?
Yes. You better go check it out. Here, take this. He may be armed. Oh, I don't believe this. I do not believe this.